Hello, and welcome to my channel, Hopewell Stories. What would you do if your parents vanished one day, and you were left with three younger brothers and a mountain of bills? That's exactly what happened to Maya. She was only 19 when her mom and dad disappeared. No warning, no goodbye. One morning, they were gone. The house was empty. The car was missing, and the phone kept ringing with messages from creditors. The police said they'd look into it, but after 2 weeks, all they said was, "Adults can leave if they want. We can't force them to come back." Maya stood in the kitchen, staring at the fridge covered in her little brother's drawings. Her hands trembled. She wasn't ready for this. She was still in college, studying to be a nurse. She worked part-time at a grocery store. How could she take care of three kids, ages 6, 9, and 12, on her own? But she didn't have a choice. The next day, Maya dropped out of school. She took a second job at a diner. She sold her laptop. She gave up her dream of becoming a nurse, at least for now. All that mattered was food on the table, rent paid, and making sure her brothers felt safe. She became Mama Maya. Every morning at 5 a.m., she woke up to make lunches, pack backpacks, and get the boys ready for school. Then she worked her shift at the grocery store. After that, she rushed to the diner, where she served burgers and fries until midnight. She came home exhausted, her feet aching, her eyes heavy, but she never complained. She smiled at the boys. She helped them with homework. She tucked them in at night and whispered, "I love you. Everything's going to be okay." And for a while, it almost was. They lived in a small apartment on the edge of town. The walls were thin, and the heater broke every winter, but they had each other. They had routines. They had love. Then, one rainy Thursday evening, everything changed. Maya was washing dishes when she heard a knock at the door. She froze. No one ever came to their door. The landlord only called. The neighbors kept to themselves. Her friends from college had stopped visiting when she dropped out. She wiped her hands on her apron and walked to the door. "Who is it?" she called. No answer, just another knock, soft but firm. She peeked through the peephole. A man stood on the porch, tall, with dark hair and a long coat. He held a suitcase in one hand and a small umbrella in the other. He didn't look dangerous, but something about him made her heart beat faster. "Maya," he said. His voice was calm, almost gentle. "My name is Daniel. I knew your parents." Maya's breath caught. She unlocked the door but left the chain on. "What do you want?" she asked. "I need to talk to you," he said. "About your mom and dad." She stared at him. "They left. We don't know where they went." Daniel nodded slowly. "I know, but I think I can help." Maya hesitated. Her mind raced. Was this a scam? A trick? Could this man be lying? But then she looked into his eyes. There was something honest there. Sad, maybe, tired, like he'd been carrying a secret for too long. Against her better judgment, she closed the door, removed the chain, and opened it again. "5 minutes," she said, "and you stay on the porch." Daniel stepped inside, but only just. He didn't go farther than the entryway. "I worked with your father," he said, "at the power plant. We were friends, good ones." Maya crossed her arms. "Then why didn't you call? Why show up now?" "Because I couldn't," Daniel said. "Your parents didn't just leave, Maya. They were taken." Maya's stomach dropped. "What do you mean, taken?" "They were involved in something dangerous. A cover-up at the plant. They found out the company was dumping toxic waste into the river. They tried to report it, but instead of listening, the company silenced them." Maya's hands clenched into fists. "That's not true," she whispered. "They would have told us." "Maybe," Daniel said, "but they were scared. For you, for the boys. They thought if they left quietly, the company would leave you alone. And if they stayed," Maya asked, "then you'd all be in danger," Daniel said. "I tried to warn them, but it was too late. The night they disappeared, I saw men in black suits take them. No badges, no warrants, just silence." Maya's legs felt weak. She leaned against the wall. "You're saying my parents were kidnapped, and no one did anything?" Daniel nodded. "I've been searching for them ever since, following leads, hiding, but I think I'm close, and I think they're still alive." Maya stared at him. Her mind spun. Was this real? Was she hearing this right? Why tell me now? She asked. Because I need help, Daniel said. I can't do this alone. And you're stronger than you know. You've been raising your brothers, working 2 jobs, surviving. If anyone can help me find them, it's you. Maya didn't answer right away. She looked down the hall. The boys were in the living room, laughing at a cartoon. Their voices were light, happy. They didn't know any of this. They still believed their parents were just away for work. Could she risk telling them the truth? Could she risk getting them involved? But then she thought of her mom's smile, her dad's laugh, the way he used to lift her up when she was little and say, "You can do anything, Maya." She had spent 2 years pretending everything was fine, but it wasn't. And maybe, just maybe, she could do something about it. "I'll help," she said. But on one condition. Daniel waited. "You don't come near the boys, not until we know it's safe. I protect them. That's my job." Daniel nodded. Agreed. They made a plan. Daniel had a notebook full of names, dates, and locations. He believed the company was holding her parents in an old storage facility outside the city. It was risky, dangerous, but it was the only lead they had. Maya worked her shifts as usual, but now, every night, after the boys were asleep, she met Daniel in a parking lot behind the grocery store. They studied maps, practiced what to say, planned how to get in and out without being seen. She didn't tell the boys a thing, but she started leaving little notes in their lunchboxes. "Love you, baby brother. Proud of you. No matter what happens, I'll always protect you." She didn't know if she was preparing for the worst, or hoping for a miracle. Then one Friday night, Daniel called. "They moved them," he said. "I found out where. Tonight's our only chance." Maya's heart pounded. She tucked the boys into bed early, read them a story, kissed their foreheads. Then she slipped out the back door. Daniel was waiting in an old van. They drove in silence for an hour, through winding roads and thick forests. The sky was dark. No stars, just clouds. Finally they reached a tall fence topped with barbed wire. Beyond it stood a long gray building. No lights, no signs, just silence. "This is it," Daniel whispered. They climbed the fence. Maya's hands bled from the wire, but she didn't care. They crept to a side door. Daniel picked the lock. He'd done this before. Inside, the air was cold and damp. The floor creaked with every step. They moved down a hallway, past empty rooms and broken pipes. Then at the end a locked door. Daniel listened. He nodded. "There's someone in there." Maya's breath shook. She stepped forward and turned the knob. The door opened. Inside, 2 people sat on metal chairs, chained to the wall, thin, pale, but alive. "Mom?" Maya whispered. Her mother looked up. Her eyes widened. "Maya?" she gasped. Maya ran to her, tears streaming down her face. She hugged her so tight she thought she might break. Her father reached out with trembling hands. "You came," he said. "You're so strong." They cried. They talked. They held each other like they'd never let go. Daniel stood guard at the door. "We have to go," he said. Now. They helped Maya's parents up. They were weak, but they could walk. They made it back to the van. As they drove away, Maya sat in the back, holding her mom's hand. "I raised them," she said. "All 3. They're safe. They're good." Her mom kissed her forehead. "You were never just a sister, Maya. You were a mother, a hero." Maya smiled through her tears, but she wasn't done. The next morning she called the police, then a reporter. She gave them Daniel's notebook. She told the whole story about the cover-up, the kidnapping, the lies. The news exploded. Within days, the company was under investigation. Workers came forward. Evidence was found. The CEO was arrested. Maya's parents gave interviews. They thanked her. They called her brave. But Maya didn't care about fame. She cared about bedtime stories, about school lunches, about her brother's laughter. One evening, as the sun set over the city, Maya sat on the porch with her family. Her parents were home. The boys played in the yard, kicking a soccer ball. Daniel sat beside her, sipping tea. "You did it," he said. Maya shook her head. "We did it," he smiled. "You know, your parents aren't the only ones who owe you their lives." She looked at him. "What do you mean?" "I was lost," he said. For 2 years, I was running, hiding, full of guilt, but you gave me purpose again. You reminded me what courage looks like. Maya didn't answer. She just leaned her head on his shoulder. For the first time in years, she didn't feel alone. She wasn't just a sister. She wasn't just a caregiver. She was Maya, and she had saved them all. The payoff. So here's the question. What would you do if the people you loved disappeared, and the only way to bring them back was to risk everything? Could you be brave when no one else was? Could you fight for your family, even when the world turned its back? Maya did. And maybe, just maybe, we all have a little Maya inside us. If this story moved you, share it with someone who's been strong when life got hard, or leave a comment. What would you have done in Maya's place? And if you want more stories about courage, family, and second chances, hit follow, because sometimes, the quietest heroes are the ones who change everything.